Hi, this is Ian Westerman, head pro at essentialtennis.com. Welcome to episode number 24 of Ask Ian. Hopefully you enjoy this episode because I'm starting to freeze out here. Today's question comes to us from Mike in California, who wrote to me and said, question, during a big match, how do you balance being calm, cool, and collected with being pumped up and fired up? Okay, Mike, that's an awesome question, and for me, what this really comes down to is knowing yourself and knowing what level of emotional activation works best for you. And that's really the key, is knowing yourself and knowing what works for you, because when you just go back and look at professional examples, there are examples all over the scale as far as being calm, cool, collected. You know, for those types of players, we think about Borg, we think about Sampras. When it comes to the other end of the spectrum, you know, we think about players like McEnroe, who just seemed to play better. You know, the more emotional and the more fired up he was, it seemed like the better he played. Leighton Hewitt, more modernly, is kind of known for being fiery and more intense. And even players, Djokovic is not all the way on the other end of the spectrum, but you'll see him purposefully try to get the crowd fired up, get himself fired up and emotional. And a lot of times that's a tactic that he'll use to get himself more fired up and more focused. It completely varies from player to player, even among professional players. And it's the same for all of us, amateur, passionate amateur players. So you need to realize and discover for yourself where on that spectrum, where on that scale you personally fall. And then do your best to manage your emotions within a match. And it's not something where you want to, shut down and tightly control it. But for some people that might be the case. For a player like Sampras or Borg, that might be the case where you really want to control it tightly. Just for me personally, I just wanted to give my own personal input on that. And this is something that I've really paid close attention to over the last several years, because quite honestly, back in my college career, I really kind of struggled with mental toughness. And what I found for myself personally is that I can't be on either end of the spectrum. If I try to really tightly control my emotions and be calm, cool, and collected like a Sampras, stoic type approach, then I found that I tend to get kind of melancholy, honestly, maybe as strange as that sounds. I get a little bit mopey, a little bit down, and my energy level all of a sudden kind of starts to drop. This is what I found when I've tried to go all the way in the other direction and not show any emotion at all. I can't do that, or else I really start to kind of sink emotionally. But on the other end of the spectrum, if I try to go full McEnroe, then I totally self-destruct, and I'm not able to keep myself positive. When I get really emotionally activated, then it's really easier for me to get down on myself when I make mistakes. When I hit an amazing shot, great, I'm fired up. When I make a mistake, then I'm really down on myself, and I'm outwardly very negative. So for me personally, I have to manage kind of between the two. I want to be in control emotionally, but I don't want to be completely withdrawn and withheld. I want to have some emotion. A little bit of negative is totally fine for me. Some positive, totally fine for me. But I don't want to allow it to get really, really heightened, or else I kind of emotionally, kind of start to come unglued a little bit. So that's how it is for me. How it is for you, I don't know. It depends on your personality. It depends on your approach and kind of emotionally what works for you. So study yourself and quite honestly, experiment with it. Try different approaches. There's no wrong answer to this, unless you go to the emotional side of things and you just become belligerent and obviously that's not what we want. We don't want to be disruptive to our opponents, which a lot of people said McEnroe did it just to be distracting. We don't want to go to that extreme, but feel free to experiment. There's no real wrong answer unless you get to to that extreme point where it's actually being disruptive to your opponent and other people around you. So hopefully that was helpful, Mike. Awesome question. If you're watching today and you've enjoyed this video, do me a favor and click like. If you're on YouTube, or it could be on Facebook as well. Also, please be sure to subscribe to the Essential Tennis YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you have any suggestions for topics or any other general comments or questions, leave those down below. With that, thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. Take care and good luck with your tennis.